a lot of big saves against the U.S. the other night, and he will be counted on a lot tonight.
Referee Mike Noeth going to the face-off circle, and we are underway with this game on Canada Cup 84. Cleared on the left side to Zubkov. A forward pass out to center to Makharov, and it is dumped into the Swedish zone. Off the boards. Both teams, I think, will open rather cautiously, Don.
Well, they had two exhibition games. The Soviets won 7-3 and 4-1.
This is Zubkov trying a pass forward for Larianov, in over the line, goes back into the corner, gets it all the way back to Zubkov. A shot well wide out in front, and now they try to clear it but fail to do so as it is kept in by Zubkov. Coming to center ice, Matt Sundstrom was stopped. All the way back behind, it is touched, and we have an icing call.
Ron, no problem seeing the Soviet line of Makarov, Larionov, and Krutov. They're expected and they're well respected as one of the top lines in the world. In the Olympics in '84, they were the keys to the Soviet attack, and I'm sure throughout this Canada Cup they will be the key of the attack of the offensive too.
Håkan Lou, a real favorite here in Calgary. Håkan the Hawk is on the ice for Team Sweden.
He's sure a hawk around that net. He's sure got a natural goal touch around the little soft touch with the no cement hands.
The Soviet zone, it is cleared all the way back. Lindmark well out of his goal, dangerously leaving the goal wide open. This is Vladimir Kovin dumping it back. Going back for it though, and clearing it out was Thomas Eriksson. It comes back to center. Over on the far side, that's Skvortsov. Skvortsov leaves it for Starikov. Out to center. And it comes back down to the right of Lindmark. He is trying to fight for it. Slides all the way back down. And coming all the way back for it is Stельнов. Igor Stельнов starting out. Passes it. No one was there. Play a little ragged in the early minutes of this period. And so there is no score in early stages of the first period. Sweden, no score. USSR, no score. Bent-Åke Gustafsson will take the face-off for Sweden as he moves into the face-off circle to the left of goaltender Vladimir Mышkin. Puck is finally dropped. Gustafsson fanned on a shot. It goes over to the right side to Svetlov. Svetlov all the way back down behind Peter Lindmark. Soviets keeping it in. Svetlov goes heavily into the corner. He was taken out of the play by defenseman Bo Eriksson. Puck back to center ice. To Semenov. Back over the center ice line again. Shot back into Soviet territory. Soviets regrouping now. Passing over off the left board was Svetlov. Svetlov took a hard check. And a delayed whistle by Gordy Brosiker brings the face-off back inside the Soviet blue line.
One of the things that the Swedish team has tried to do right off the start of the game, they've tried to take the body on the Soviets. And the Soviets, they need their room, and here's just what I mean. Swedish coming in, taking the body, right at the blue line, stopping the play, and then there's a two-line pass. So one of the keys is for the Swedes, make sure they keep taking the body and don't quit halfway through the first period.
Going in for Sweden is Per-Erik Eklund, and the drive goes back to Zubkov. Soviets regrouping now. Right up to the Swedish blue line, a shot well wide of the mark. Bounces around. Zubkov tries to keep it in. Failed to do so. And it is taken off the boards, drilled back over the Swedish blue line. Peter Lindmark, who has a tendency to roam very dangerously far from his own goal, cleared it out. Now it comes all the way back down to Soviet territory. Mышkin leaving it. Kasitonov cleared it out to center ice. It is shot right back into the Soviet territory once again. This time by Thomas Sandstrom. Keeping it in. A shot was well wide of the mark. Teldin let it go. Pass to center, intercepted by Mikhail Teldin. He lost it, and forced back was Peter Anderson. Anderson was checked along the boards by Shepelov. Turning in his own zone, this is Eklund. Failed to get it out. Racing along the boards, it is shot to center. Over on the left side. Coming down in over the line, Thomas Sandstrom was taken out of the play. Good check thrown there. Back out to center, over on the right wing. Cleared back in over the line, and the puck was stolen. Here is a break. Matt Sundstrom comes down, and he was down. Struggling the puck is Thomas Gradine. Gradine playing for Vancouver Canucks of the NHL. Trying to pass, and Peter Sundstrom left it all the way back behind his own blue line. Sundstrom again trying to pass. Had it stolen. Puck loose in the center ice area. Off the boards, this is Pat Sundstrom. Going back for it is Starikov. It's over the line. It is stopped, that time by Makarov. Back out to the center ice area. Turning is Larianov. The Soviets putting on that circular skating performance they do so well, Don.
Yes, they have, but they haven't handled the puck early in the game as well as what I thought they would. I thought they'd try and take the puck and be very aggressive in the Swedish end.
Play is behind the Soviet blue line. Starting out now is Karabuki. Karabuki lost it, and here is a break. Coming back down over the line is Steen. Thomas Steen couldn't get to it in time. The Soviets regroup once again coming out. Cutting down in over the line. This is Skvortsov. Skvortsov couldn't get a shot away. Karabuki keeps it in for the Soviets. Over on the left boards, it is shot down by Thomas Steen. Mышkin out of his goal, leaves it. 14 minutes, 29 seconds remaining here in the first period. No score. Kent Nilson playing in his hometown of Calgary tonight on the ice for Sweden. Now down in over the line, cutting into the corner was Håkan Loob. And you can hear the crowd yell for the Hawk. Håkan Loob is pulled down, but getting it behind is Nilsson, trying to center it, failed to do so. Peter Anderson back to center ice. Shot it. Loose. Easy save. Semenov now leaving it back for his defenseman. Out to center again to Semenov. Left side to Yašin. Yašin right in front, a loose puck. Oh, and just drilled away at the last minute by Mats Näslund. That's the closest call they've had so far in the first period. Svetlov, a shot! Oh, wide. Bounces off the board in Swedish territory. Out to center ice. Carrying it up, in over the line. Here's Gustafsson. Gustafsson checked from behind. Puck is lobbed high all the way back down to Swedish territory. Again, Peter Lindmark was knocked down. The net is empty. Soviets try to clear it, and no one was there. Lindmark, I knew Don was going to get caught. He was roaming too far.
If there is a weakness with European goalies, it's how they handle the puck in their own end, and Peter Lindmark got caught there.
Eldebrink for Sweden. Eldebrink carries it up to center ice. In over the Soviet line. Simply dumped it behind Mышkin. Back behind the goal. This is Zubkov. Tried to pass, failed to click. A race for it. Went back into the corner. Two players squeezed along the boards. Gimbayev could not get to it. Right in front. Oh, just tipped wide. Coming in on the right of Peter Lindmark. It is held along the boards for a face-off. We have 12:24 remaining. There is no score between Sweden and USSR on Canada Cup 84. Waiting a face-off now, and we'll go to the left of goaltender Peter Lindmark. Coming in to take the face-off, Pat Sundstrom for Sweden. And that is Erik Gimbayev for the Soviets. Puck is cleared back to center. Shot back in over the line again. Back behind goaltender Lindmark. Drilled all the way back down to the right of Vladimir Mышкин. It is touched, so icing now called against Sweden.
Ron, that was a good play by the Swedish defenseman there. They're going to have to, all night, if they get in trouble in their own end, they're going to have to learn to ice the puck. I know on those big ice surfaces in Europe, some of the Swedish players and Soviet players, they find they have a lot of room to maneuver, where here it's tight quarters, and one mistake could be very, very costly.
I think so far in this first period, the Swedes have looked a little more impressive than they did against the USA.
Well, the only question I have, Ron, is the fact that I think what the Soviets are trying to do is take the game at a top tempo, and are the Swedes in good enough shape to maintain it through 60 minutes?
Pat Sundström for Sweden to take the face-off. It's going to go to the left of goaltender Lindmark. Done incorrectly. Whistle on the play. Players anxiously jumping into the face-off circle. Puck is back behind Lindmark. Sweden on the move, trying a pass. It was intercepted at center ice. Knocked heavily to the ice was Kuznetsov. And it is shot all the way back down to Soviet territory. Icing is called against Sweden, and so with 11:43 remaining here in the first period, no score between Sweden and the USSR on Canada Cup 84. Don Hewitt along with Don Edwards in Calgary for Canada Cup 84. Don, are you surprised that the Swedes are dumping the puck out of their own zone and calling the icing as much as they have been?
Not at all. I think it's a good ploy because it gives them a little bit of rest and gets their game back together so they don't get a little disorganized.
Puck at the center ice red line. Lobbed high over the glass into the crowd below our broadcast area.
Lee Ford must have really put a good game plan together because he's really worked hard to practice. They said that the Swedish practice is swift moving practice, good passing, good shooting. And this is going to be a key game, but they still have some tougher games to go.
He's set for a face-off near the center ice red line. From the draw, it is back over the Soviet blue line. Here is a perfect pass to center. This is Krutov. Krutov down, in over the line, cutting behind the net, looking to pass, gets it back, right to the blue line. Here is a drive, and that went wide. It bounces back, and this is Pierwухin. A shot right in front. Great save by Lindmark. And a whistle on the plate. We are going to have the first penalty of this period.
Well, the fans in Calgary sure don't here like it. Looks like Patrick Sundström going to the penalty box, and this certainly gives the Soviets a big advantage right off the bat. They worked very hard on the power play this morning, and I'm sure what they're going to try and do is set the key up on the points. The pointmen are going to be able to move it in between them, try and get the Swedish penalty killers running around a little bit, and then try and hit the man off the corner of the nets.
It'll be Peter Sundström getting the gate, Don. And now the USSR will have the man advantage. Sundström in the penalty box for holding at 8 minutes and 49 seconds here in the first period. There is no score. We have 11-11 remaining to play.
Peter Sundström, the twin brother of Patrick Sundström, a member of the Vancouver Canucks.
Penalty to number 18, Peter Sundström, 2 minutes for holding, and the time is 8:49. Sundström for holding at 8:49.
Out to take the face-off is Vladimir Krutov for the USSR. They will have the man advantage.
That's their big line, Ron. That's the one that Sweden has to key on. They have to shut them down.
Face-off goes to the left of Peter Lindmark in Swedish territory. From the draw. It comes back. They cleared it out. And a great way out of his goal was Vladimir Mышkin. The Soviets were a little sloppy. Here's the shot right on Mышkin down, and a great save.
Well, that was the first real big test of the game for Mышkin. Hawken Loob, the speedy forward of the Calgary Flames, teaming with Kent Nilson, coming up and they're pinching on the defense and forcing them to make a mistake. And Hawken works real hard here in the corner, gets the puck out, shot, almost beats Mышkin from a bad angle. Kent Nilson comes in, shoving at the puck. Mышkin's able to hang on to it. Good play by Hawken Loob and Kent Nilson.
As you pointed out, Don, it was also a little sloppy handling of the play after he made the original save, and you mentioned about the goaltenders, some difficulty handling the puck in front of their own net.
Well, the Soviets, they worked very hard on schooling their goaltenders. I think one of the things lacking is handling the puck.
Coming out now, this is Cobb comes to the Swedish line. Shot it back behind Lindmark. It bounces, but not out. It comes back to the point, and Kасatонов couldn't keep it in. Down the left side, Pat Sundstrom. It is shot in over the line as they kill off this penalty. There is 1:12 remaining in the penalty to Peter Sundstrom. Cleared out again. This time by Mats Näslund.
The Swedes are doing a heck of a job here. They're standing up at their blue line, forcing the Soviets to make the play outside the blue line.
Coming at the line now, this is Makarov. Sergei Makarov takes it into the corner. He was checked, but it still comes around over to Kасatонov. Back it goes to the blue line, to the point. A drive right in front, a scramble, and Lindmark is down. Makarov was standing right in front, and now we've got some shoving going on. As jumping right into it was Vladimir Krutov.
Who says the European players don't have tempers? They're right in there. The Swedes are trying to protect their goalie. And the Russians are in there. They're strong, and they're trying to be aggressive, and they're trying to put a little bit of screen on Peter Lindmark. Puck goes back to Kасatонov. That's a good shot. Peter Lindmark is allowed to see the puck, hangs out of the rebound, and it really takes the Swedes out of trouble.
And look at the shoving that broke out to the side of Peter Lindmark. We have seen now a full game in about half a period, and we have yet to see any members of the Swedish team back down from anyone.
Well, that's a little surprising, because against the U.S., that was one of their problems. They didn't seem to have a leader. It looks like everyone's taking the leadership role into their own hands tonight. It looks like they really want to win it.
Well, Krutov is gone for the USSR, and going for Sweden will be Mats Näslund.
Number 26, Mats Näslund. And to Team USSR, number 9, Vladimir Krutov. 2 minutes each for roughing. The time of 10:10. Näslund and Krutov, 2 each for roughing at 10:10.
Semenov will take the face-off for the USSR. It is still in Swedish territory. Failing to get a stick on it was Stельнов. Back into the corner, out in front, and Pat Sundstrom tried to clear it out. It's off the glass. Recovering now is Stельнов. Stельnov leaves it for Svetlov. Stельnov again, a forward pass to Semenov. Semenov cutting around, and he lost the puck. It is back to the point now to Stельnov. A shot. Oh, they score! A good shot. It came from the blue line. Sergei Starikov let the shot go. We'll see if it was deflected from in front of the net.
It definitely was deflected, Ron. Starikov had lots of time to slap the puck. It goes across. He just lets it go. A little bit of a screen. There's 2 or 3 players in front of the net. Goes off one of them between Peter Lindmark's legs. Stельnov passes the puck. A little deflection right there. Looks like it comes back into the net. Peter Lindmark has no chance on it at all. It's going to be interesting, Ron, to see if the Swedes get down on themselves. They come right back and take the play to the Soviets.
Puck is back behind the Soviet blue line. Karavukin now. A pass. It was intercepted. Kent Nilson comes to center ice. Drops it back. Hokan Lube drops it back into the corner.
By number 16, Sergei Svetlov. Assisted by number 12, Sergei Starikov, and number 4, Igor Stельnov.
Oh, they ruled it went in on Svetlov. Sergei Svetlov got the goal. And the USSR leads 1-0. Puck is inside the Swedish blue line. Kent Nilson taking it to center ice. Nilson, a pass on the right side, trying to get a backhand away, but failing there was Thomas Eriksson. A whistle on the play, and there's going to be a slashing penalty. And so, the score, the USSR 1, Sweden no score. This is the first period, Canada Cup 84.
The puck comes over to Thomas Eriksson of the Philadelphia Flyers, and Kovin of the Soviet Union takes a good whack at Eriksson, and he's off for 2 minutes.
This face-off of the USSR zone, trying to get it out, was Mats Thelin. Also in there fighting is Gustafsson. Team Sweden down, 1 goal. Taking his man out of the play with a good check is Peter Sundstrom. Eklund is in there along the boards. And finally a whistle on the play to force a face-off in the Soviet zone.
Ron, one of the big differences between the NHL play and the international play is that penalty, the teams would have maintained a 5-4 advantage, the Soviets over the Swedes. Where there in the international play, the Soviets end up getting a 4-on-3, and that gives a little bit more room on the ice for the players to manipulate their talents.
7 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in the first period. USSR 1, Sweden no score. The face-off now will go to the right of Vladimir Mышkin. He's a happy gentleman participating in Canada Cup 84.
Well, maybe when he gets back in the dressing room, the Soviet coach will be giving him a nit-nit.
That's Kovin in the penalty box for slashing. Gustafsson takes the draw for Sweden. They try to keep it in, but it out goes to center ice. Coming along the boards, Sergei Makarov. Dumped back to the Swedish zone. Again, Lindmark way out of his goal. Comes out to center, too far, tried a clearing pass, and it was knocked back behind the line again. It is drilled out of the Soviet zone, and this time going back for it is Anders Eldebrink. Behind his own goal, Sweden on the move, this is Eldebrink. Out to center, dropped it in over the line. Coming back into the corner, Håkan Loob left it. Loob was dumped. Back to the point to Bo Eriksson. His drive was stopped, and it is shot down the ice by Vladimir Krutov.
I'm interested, Ron. Kent Nilson just come on the ice. I'm sure Lee Bork has got him being the quarterback out there on this power play.
This is Nilson. You just mentioned him. He grabs the puck and goes into the corner. Back behind, Mышkin. Off the boards. It is shot out of the Soviet zone again. Anders Eldebrink. Eldebrink behind his own goal. There's only 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Vladimir Kovin. In over the line goes Nilsson, and he was stopped. Here's a shot. Oh, just wide. Thomas Eriksson, a good drive right from the blue line. Coming back down to touch it. Icing will be called against the USSR, and sticks go up high to the right of goaltender Peter Lindmark. USSR 1, Sweden no score on Canada Cup 1984. USSR 1, Sweden no score, and we only have 6:04 remaining here in the first period from Calgary. Face-off to the right of Vladimir Mышkin.
The Swedes might be down by 1, but they're sure taking the play to the Soviets.
Soviets might have thought this was going to be an easy game tonight, and so far, Team Sweden not backing down at all. Here's a shot right off. Mышkin, a big save, and that came from Peter Sundstrom. Peter Sundstrom has the puck, tried to center it. The elbows go up in the corner. Puck is along the boards in Soviet territory, and it's held to force yet another face-off. This time it will go to the left of Mышkin.
Mышkin maybe making the biggest save of the game so far. Peter Sundstrom, a good quick shot. Mышkin was a little back in the net, but he was fortunate enough to get his leg out and get a pad on it.
Pat Sundstrom now moves into the face-off circle. From the draw, here's a backhand. That hit a leg. Bilялетdinov got it out to the center ice area. It is shot right back in over the line again by Peter Sundstrom. Back behind Mышkin. Now going into the corner heavily along the boards was Peter Sundstrom. It is cleared out down the left side. Coming down is Skvortsov. Skvortsov squeezed into the boards. Puck is loose. And racing out now is Pat Sundstrom. He leaves it for Peter. at the Soviet blue line. Going back forward is Mats Thelin. Thelin now starts out slowly. Trying to pass too far, went right on the Mышkin's stick. There's 4:55 remaining, first period. And here's a penalty, a blatant penalty. As Mats Thelin simply pulled down Mikhail Vardakov right at the Soviet blue line.
Mats Thelin just got a little over aggressive here, and he pulled Vardakov. This penalty is badly. He shouldn't really have taken it. He shouldn't have done that. Just had to go in and give the Soviet player a little shoulder, and the play is dead. But he decided to get a little over aggressive, put his arm around him around the neck, and pulled him down.
Sweden cannot afford to take foolish penalties, not against the USSR.
Well, one of the things about the Soviets definitely try and work very hard on the power play. They'll try and put a game away in the first period if a team gets costly penalties, and that's one thing the Swedes definitely can't do.
Mats Thelin is in the penalty box. They will be a man short, and there's 4:52 remaining in the first period. The USSR in front by 1. Now they're out to the center ice area, over on the right side. It comes back and is stolen. Knocked back in over the line. Good play by Per-Erik Eklund. Soviets on the move are led by Zubkov. Zubkov shot it up to the line where it was stopped. Hakhan Loob delayed whistle on the play.
Swedish coach has got Hakhan Loob and Kent Nilson out there killing penalties again, and I know that with the Calgary Flames they're very, very effective, and they're trying. All they're doing is standing up at the blue line, on the Swedish blue line, trying to force the Soviets to pass the puck outside and try and work it in. And if the Swedes keep doing that, they're going to shut the Soviets right down.
Soviets have the man advantage. That's Thelin in the penalty box. Now the Soviets on the move. Coming out is Kасsatonov. Kасsatonov was stopped. Shot back down to Soviet territory. Stельнов starting out. Larianov down the left side, and he was stopped. The puck is in Swedish territory. Back behind Lindmark. Off the boards as they try to draw a check. Back to the point. Coming right in front. Loose puck, and Lindmark made the save. Puck slides to the left. Makarov. Back to the point it goes to Kасsatonov. Kасsatonov keeping it in. It's over on the left defense to Stельнов. Back to Kасsatonov. Off the boards, this is Makarov. Makarov, back again to the point to Kасsatonov. Racing in now is Stельнов. As they draw a check, a shot, just was tipped wide, and Lindmark grabs hold and hangs on. But it's a pleasure to watch those Soviets move the puck around. Change of players by both teams. The USSR won, Sweden no score on Canada Cup 84. 3 minutes 17 seconds remaining here in the first period. Vladimir Kovin will take the face-off to the left of Peter Lindmark in Swedish territory.
One of the things to watch here, Ron, for all the coaches at home, is how the Soviets play tic-tac-toe with the puck. They move it very, very quickly.
Gustafsson taking the draw for Sweden, skated in front of his own goal. Is banged out to center. As the Soviets get in position now, Anatoly Semyonov leaving it, a shot right on. Stick save on a drive by Yašin. Here's a drive, that hit a leg and was deflected back into the corner, and Mats Thelin back on the ice. Sweden back at full strength. 2:42 remaining first period. Working his way out to the center ice area, Mats Нэslund came back behind his own blue line. Trying to pass over to Hawkinson. Hawkinson couldn't get to it in time. Thomas Eriksson back behind his own goal. This is Elderbrink. Elderbrink dumping it down to the right of Mышкин. No icing on the play. Over on the left side. Vardakov failed to get it out. trying to line up a backhand, but failed to get it. As Thomas Sandstrom, a shot finally, and Mышkин hangs on, and now sticks go up high in front of goaltender Mышkin.
Well, Mats Нэslund out there wheeling around, handling the puck, trying to get things set up with Anders Håkansson disturbing Mышkin a little bit in front with the Soviet defenseman taking him out. That's one thing the Soviets work very, very hard on, is trying to make sure that their goalies get a good, clean view of the puck.
1 minute 59 seconds remaining. Sweden has outshot the USSR 7-4 in this first period. Matt Sundstrom will take the face-off for Sweden to the right of Mышkin.
The talk is, Ron, that since Vladimir Tretiak retired, the Soviets have went back and reschooled their defense and their forwards on playing defensive hockey.
Soviet Union trying to regroup to get out. Sweden putting the pressure on. Dumped it right back in over the line. That was Peter Sundstrom. Starikov failed to get anywhere. Now coming down in over the line. Right in front. And a kick save by Lindmark with a scramble in front of the goal. Out to the center ice area. And a shot in over the Soviet line. Starikov couldn't get anywhere with it. Sweden putting the pressure on. Along the boards. Back into the corner again. Matt Sundstrom now throwing his weight around. Puck is still loose. Igor Stельнов, and we have less than a minute here in the first period. A pass rink wide by Skvortsov in over the line. Banning on a shot. Vratari, and we're going to have another penalty handed out.
It looks like Talvin is called here. Looks like he gets a stick out, a little trip. Just a little bit of a roughing, knocks the Soviet player off balance. The referee's right there. The thing that I'm a little surprised is with the Swedes on how aggressive they are in the corner. It's one characteristic they're not really known for, Ron, and that's one thing to be successful against the Soviets they definitely have to do.
Mikhail Talvin, 9-11 the time, a holding penalty. There's 49 seconds remaining here in the first period.
I don't think the Swedes are very happy with that call at all, but Noeth was right there, the referee, to call it, and I think that Talvin definitely belongs in the penalty box.
Sergei Svetlov has scored the only goal here in the hockey game in the first period. The USSR leading 1-0.
I see that the Soviets have Larionov. He's the quarterback of this Soviet team back there, and his job is to take control of the play and make sure that the puck stays inside that blue line.
Face-off inside the Swedish blue line with the puck is Larionov. Larionov tried a pass for Shepelov. Back to Larionov. This is Shepelov working his way in front. A shot just tipped wide by Yašin. Shot down all the way back to the Soviet zone. Larionov in the corner. Shepelov shot it around the boards. Trying to get out now was Kasutonov. Gimаев failed to get out. Coming up to put some pressure on is Håkan Loob. Now coming out to his own blue line is Kasutonov. There's only 1 second remaining as the horn goes, and the first period of this hockey game is over.
Well, Ron, the Swedes really went out. They looked like they stuck to a game plan. They went after the Soviets, got them to force the puck around, and I think the Swedes are pretty happy going in the dressing room only behind 1-0.
Well, I noticed, Don, in this particular period, although Sweden was scored on, unlike the USA game, Sweden did not seem to give up.
Well, the key, I think, was the corner work of the Swedes.
All right, 1 goal in that period. Sergei Svetlov, the USSR leads Sweden 1-0 on Canada Cup 1984.
It'd be a lot easier to move it out of their own end.
There's a final in another game today in Canada Cup 84. Germany and Czechoslovakia played to a 4-4 tie. This second period is now underway. That game was played in London, Ontario.
I wonder if they had the fog bowl.
Coming out right now, working his way out to the center ice area, and here's a slashing call right from the opening seconds of this game.
The sleek new Canon T70 puts the accuracy of a computer into every shot automatically. The multi-program Canon T70, like Gretzky, it makes the great shot simple.
Sergei Makarov is getting the gate for slashing.
Well, I'm sure the Swedish team will try and take advantage of that costly penalty. They have Hakhan Loob, Kent Nilson, Thomas Eriksson out there, and I'm sure one of the things they'll be trying to take advantage. Excuse me, Ron, the penalties were even. I'm sorry.
Mikhail Telvin is still. He has 48 seconds remaining in his penalty. Back for it, Gimаев. Puck is carried out to the center ice area by Kасатонов. Kent Nilson passing it out. Eldebrink cleared it up to Nilson again. Shot back to center. Kасatонov carries it up in over the Swedish blue line. Kасatонov tried to pass for Krutov. Couldn't get a stick on it. Finally got it right onto the stick of Kent Nilson. Nilson comes to center. Up in over the line. Right in front of the goal is Thomas Eriksson. Puck is banged off the boards. Eldebrink carries it to one side of Vladimir Mышкин. Puck goes over on the far side. The Soviets regrouping, coming out now. Sweden has the man advantage. There's 47 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Makarov.
Well, I'm sure one of the things that Lee Ford, the Swedish coach, will try and send some of his NHLers with the experience to try and get it out, move it around, try and throw some picks. They have the speedy Mats Näslund out there with Bent Gustafsson and Bo Eriksson. And I'm sure they'll really try and move the puck quick, try and get the Soviets running around a bit, and hopefully try and put a little pressure on Mышkин.
Linesman Gordy Brosiker to handle the face-off duties. Play just underway here in the second period. The USSR leading by 1 goal. Puck is shot back to the Soviet zone. It is shot all the way back down to Swedish territory. Peter Lindmark now leaving it. Peter Anderson on defense. Lines up and drives it all the way back down to Soviet territory. Keeping it in along the boards as they fight for it. Anders Håkansson tries to move it. Failed to do so. He was dumped. It comes bouncing back to the blue line. A loose puck as they struggle for it. Still keeping it in Soviet territory. Back in along the board. Mikhail Telvin gets it. It comes back and it is intercepted by Makarov, who stepped back on the ice. Team's back at full strength. Back behind his own goal, Sergei Starikov. Starikov out to pass intercepted and turning. You can hear the crowd in Calgary cheer for Hakhan Loob. Backhand right in front. Oh, failing to get a shot away was Nilson. Held on to it too long. Back to the blue line, a quick shot. That one off his shoulder. Hakhan Loob back behind Vladimir Pushkin. As they fight for it, Hakhan Loob comes up with it again. Looks to draw a check, dumps it back into the corner. Tomas Stин failed to get anywhere with it. Sweden forced back onside. Penalty is now up and 16:40 remaining here in the second period. Puck comes back to the right of goaltender Peter Lindmark. Along the boards, going back forward was Eldebrink. Here's a pass out to center. Kent Nilson, a rink-wide pass over on the right side, trying to center it, failing to do so. As the Soviets recover, Vladimir Kovin over on the left side. Coming down in over the line, cutting right in front. Poke check from behind. A good move there by Thomas Eriksson. Puck is held behind goaltender Peter Lindmark, forcing yet another face-off here in the second period. The USSR 1, Sweden no score on Canada Cup 84. Period, Sweden is down by 1 goal.
Ron, Tikhonov, the Soviet coach, looks a little concerned. I don't think he ever expected the play that the Swedes had sort of taken to him.
From the face-off in the Soviet zone, it comes all the way back down with 15:55 remaining. Puck is knocked over the glass into the crowd. So a fan goes home with a souvenir behind the penalty timekeeper's box. Play has slowed somewhat in this second period.
Well, it certainly has. It looks like both teams are a little cautious of each other. I think maybe the fast pace in the first period, the team started to slow down. And, there's Tikhonov. He's got a heck of a game plan that he sort of tries to maintain throughout the whole Soviet program. All the top Soviet players are asked to come and play in the area of Moscow, either with the Dynamo or the Spartak or the Red Army team. And for this reason, it allows the international team to get together and practice more.
Anderson dumping into the Soviet zone, and going back for it is Zubkov. Off the boards, back to the blue line. Sweden putting the pressure on. Coming back is Kasutonov. Pass out to the center ice area for Shepelov. To Shepelov, he had it stolen. Sundstrom putting some pressure on. Shepelov carrying it in over the line. He was knocked down. And Sweden recovers. Out to center ice with Thomas Gradin. Kent Nilson flipping it into Soviet territory. As Peter Sundstrom is back, Sundstrom dropped it back and no one was there.
The Swedes are really trying to force the Russian defensemen to handle the puck as much as they can, and as soon as they get it, they're right on top and forcing them to move it, and it doesn't let the Soviets set up.
Matt Stelina shot it in over the Soviet line. Along the boards is Sergei Starikov. Puck is cleared. Hit a helmet and bounced back. Play a little ragged near the center ice area. Here's a break over the line. A shot. Oh, what a save by Mышkин.
Right on top of the angle where he should be, Ron.
It's another break coming back in front. A shot. Oh, another save by Mышkin. Great drive. Thomas Sandstrom, point blank range.
Mышkin right on top, taking away the angle. Certainly took away the angle on Naslund, and
Gimbayev nearly had an opportunity. Back behind his own blue line is Bilялетдинов. Out to center, coming down, in over the line, Krutov. Krutov a pass. It goes back behind Peter Lindmark. The Soviets come roaring back. Larionov, he was checked. Back to the Soviet blue line, out to center. Kent Nilson trying to pass. In over the line, a shot. That was blocked. As Thomas Eriksson fired one. And it comes all the way back down to the left of goaltender Lindmark. Whistle on the play. We have 13-19 remaining. The USSR leads Sweden 1-0 on Canada Cup 84. A face-off will go to the right of goaltender Vladimir Mышkin, who just came up with 2 good back-to-back saves, Don.
some players would be happy getting one chance. Mэтс Нэслунд got 2 right in a row, and Mышkin, he was trained a little bit this summer by the veteran Tretiak, and those 2 saves certainly remind you of the veteran.
Shot by Anderson, glove save by Mышkin, and he hangs on.
With a glove like that, looked like he could play shortstop for the New York Yankees. Good shot from the point. Mышkin, good sight. Maybe should have been out just a little higher. Good glove, controls the rebound. The play is dead.
That looks like one of those TV saves you do periodically, Don.
Well, we all like to showboat it.
Going to be a penalty call. Here's the call. A high-sticking penalty is going to go to Sweden.
This could be a key penalty. It could certainly jolt the Soviets into a 2-0 lead, and the Swedes are going to have to be very, very careful because they've certainly taken a little bit of the play to the Soviets in the second period here, and I'm sure if they use Kent Nilson and Hawken Loop too much, by the end of the game they'll be too tired.
Jan Clausen, who has seen limited action for Sweden, I believe is going to get the gate. Yes. That was his first shift on the ice tonight.
Well, I'm sure Lee Bork won't be too happy about that. He might end up on the end of the pine again.
Again, we'll have the man advantage. Over on the right side, coming out is Sergei Yašin. Back behind the net, Semenov. A point-blank shot, and that just was wide, right from the blue line. Bilялетdinov, good shot, a little wide. Soviets now applying the pressure. They have the man advantage right in front. Oh, coming around and trying to tuck it in the corner was Yašin, but failed to do so.
Peter Lindmark right on the corner net, able to control the rebound, kick it back out, and the defenseman was able to shoot it down the ice.
Puck is shot out to the center ice area. Soviets on the move, in over the line. Coming right in front, and it is juggled, taking it into the corner. Driven back down, all the way back down to the Soviet zone. There's just over a minute now remaining in the penalty. The Soviets have the man advantage here in the second period. They're up by 1 goal. Long shot, that hit a leg. Going back for it is Kасatонов. Kent Nilson came in, stole the puck, but couldn't get anywhere with it. Now it is kept in, though, by Eldebrink. Back behind, Mышkin. Soviets trying to come out now. There's 33 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden doing a good job so far of killing off this penalty.
The Swedish defense should definitely be complimented.
Makar trying a long pass. Now he comes back off the boards, skates back behind, leaves it there for Krutov. Back to the blue line, poked forward by Kасatонov. A shot comes back off the boards again. Bounces to Kасatонov. Kасatонov trying to draw a check. Faking a shot, it goes off the boards in the corner. Now watch the play of the Soviets. They have the man advantage now. They don't. The team's up, they score! Just as the penalty was up to Sweden. A goal by Makarov has pulled the Soviets in front by 2-0.
Kasatонov really makes the play here. Why the goal is scored is the shot is off the net. Makarov is in the right position. He gets a stick on the puck, is able to deflect it in behind Lindmark. The shot, here it is, it's wide. Makarov is in the right position. That's where coaches train all young players to be, so for rebounds or deflections, and the Soviets go ahead 2-0.
This telecast is protected by copyright intended solely for the non-commercial entertainment of our viewing audience. Any use, reproduction, or distribution in whole or in part of the picture or descriptions herein contained without the express written consent of the Sports Network is strictly prohibited.
Soviet goal.
2-0. USSR in front.
Makar, assisted by number 7 Alexei Saddledome and number 3 Vladimir Zubkov. The time 9 minutes.
In the Soviet zone along the boards as they try to move it. That was Mats Näslund. Sweden putting the pressure on now. They're down by 2 goals here in the second period with 10:13 remaining. Here's a penalty.
Igor Stельнов, a little aggressive, little hold. Swedes get a chance to maybe get a little closer.
And so the score, USSR 2, Sweden no score. Off in the penalty box for holding at 9 minutes and 50 seconds of the second period. The Swedish team now will have the man advantage.
Ron, the Swedes on all their power plays so far haven't been able to get the puck into the Soviet end, maintain it, move the puck around, and get the Soviets running. And that's one thing on their power plays. If they're going to be successful, they definitely have to do.
They've sent Gustafsson out at center ice for the power play. Bo Eriksson has the puck back behind his own goal. Eriksson at his blue line. Passing it over to Eldebrink. Back over the line to Hakhan Loob. He was checked. All the way back down to the Swedish zone. Anders Eldebrink back behind his own goal. Eldebrink trying again. Over to Bo Eriksson. He was stopped. Back to center to Mats Нэslund. In over the line. Hakhan Loob was knocked down. In the corner, Eklund trying to center it. Comes back to Eriksson. Eriksson, though, keeps it in. Eklund has it back behind the Soviet goal. It's off the boards, and the Swedish team forced back onside.
The Swedes have to be very careful here. The team aspect doesn't break it down, and the Italians take over.
I'll tell you, that one, Vladimir Mышkин nearly caused a goal on himself. A little sloppy, Donnie.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying before. The European goalies get sometimes a little too aggressive in handling the puck, and I don't know if they just don't work on it, or it's just something that's not taught, but he just tries to shovel to the corner, it hits the blade of his stick, hits the skate, and it's lucky it didn't go in. Just a little bit of poor concentration on the part of Mышkин.
Well, Johnny Bauer was watching tonight. He could show him how to use the goal stick to poke check away.
The old master, he taught me a few things.
Face-off will go to the right of Vladimir Mышkin. That's the closest call he's had. We've got 8:55 remaining. This is the second period. USSR in front by 2 goals, and there's 45 seconds now remaining in the penalty. Sweden has the man advantage. Comes over to Hakhan Loob. Loob trying to draw a check, gets it back to the blue line. Back into Loob again, into the corner. Loob centers it right out in front. Failing to get a stick on it was Tomas Stin. Winding up, letting it go. Mышkin down. Good save.
Kent Nilson lets a rocket go. But one of the things the Swedes are not doing is they're not rotating. It allows the Soviets to just sort of stay planted in their little box, and they want to force the puck to the outside. As long as the puck is on the outside, Mышkin has a full sight and clean sight of the puck.
Face off to the left of Vladimir Mышkin. From the draw over to Kent Nilson. Nilson gets it back for Eriksson. Back to Nilson, a shot! Oh, just wide. He can let that go.
When he lets it go on the fly like that, it has a tendency to get a little overspin.
Here's Nilson again.
Speed out of it.
Oh, and he turns instead of shooting, and it's recovered there by Gimаев. Hakhan Loob back behind his own blue line. Here comes the Hawk. Up over the line, he was stopped. Penalty is up. Stelnov. Sweden failed to score while they had the man advantage. Anders Eldebrink trying to get it out to center, finally does. Comes over to Kent Nilson. Nilson trying to go around the man, failed to do so, coming over the line, coming right in front, a backhand, good save on a drive by Makhachev, and a good move by Makhachev. Kent Nilson passing left side to Tomas Stin. Oh, and he dropped it back. Carrying it in over the line, Peter Anderson. A struggle in front, oh, and a shot hit the skate of goaltender Mышkin. Along the board. Sweden putting the pressure on and not being outplayed, although they're down by 2 goals. Carrying it up to the line was Makhachev. Makarev's pass went astray. He's down and over the line now, a drive and a weak shot, and Mышkin poked it up, failed to get it away, and we're going to have a penalty. Back it comes to the point, a shot high over the head. Bouncing back down into the corner. Thomas Gradin out in front. Players are down, and here's a whistle on the play. A penalty will go to the Soviet Union. USSR 2, Sweden no score. Canada Cup 84.
Soviet Union gets a penalty here, very, very costly to the the Soviets, and hopefully the Swedes are going to be able to pay off. They've taken the momentum to the Soviets for the last couple of minutes, and Mышkin made some big saves, and Igor Stelnov, I'm sure when he gets in the back in the players' bench, I'm sure that Tikhonov will have a little talk with him.
6 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Second period. USSR 2, Sweden no score. Face-off will go to the right of Vladimir Mышkin. Puck slides all the way back down over the Swedish blue line. Mikael Teldin. Peter Anderson. Rink-wide pass for Pat Sundstrom. Failed to click. It comes back down to Swedish territory again. A minute 37 remaining now on the penalty. Over on the right side. Peter Sundstrom. He was stopped at the Soviet blue line. Recovers. And he's pulled out. Here's another penalty. Anatoly Semyonov will get the gate. Now, Soviet Union going to be 2 men short. If Sweden ever had an opportunity, this is it. Just over 6 minutes remaining.
A little pull here. Swedish player goes down. Swedes are looking forward. Hopefully on a 5-on-3 situation. A couple of goals gets them right back in the game.
Anatoly Semyonov for hooking at 13:53.
Referee on top of the plate gets the puck. He has to call that. That is a penalty in any league, and I know the Soviets are a little concerned. Tikhonov has to be concerned because they've had 2 penalties right in a row here, and the Soviets seem to be getting a little unscrambled.
Sweden has outshot the USSR 14-10. Now Sweden has 2-man advantage, and the face-off will take place in Swedish territory.
I wouldn't be surprised if Leif Borik ends up moving Kent Nilson out on the point, and so he can see the action in front of him, and he lets Kent move the puck to the outside. And the players, the Soviets, have to watch Kent because if he passes it, then he moves in the slot, and then it gives them an opportunity. So it's going to be a tough play. I'm interested on this power play.
Moving in for the face-off, Toomas Steen. Ball goes back into the corner. It is picked up by Tervukin. Tervukin shot it all the way back down to the Swedish zone. All right, Sweden on the move. 2-man advantage. Kent Nilson at center. Up to the Soviet line. Shot it back behind Mышkin. They try to clear it out. Got to the blue line. Elderbrink forced his man back. It is still in Soviet territory, and it is stolen by Kent Nilson. It comes over to Elderbrink. Elderbrink and Håkan Loo. Back to Elderbrink. Winds up. Lets it go. Oh, and it's deflected high. Loo. Back to Elderbrink. Elderbrink again. His pass. Oh, and a bad pass right onto the stick of Bilялетдинов.
This is exactly what the Soviets want the Swedes to do. They wanted the puck to be moved between the defensemen. There's just not enough movement in front of that Soviet net. It allows Mышkin to see the puck, and they've got to have more action.
Well, there's a rather worried Swedish coach right now, a little upset because we only have 20 seconds left in the penalty to Igor Stельнов, and now 58 seconds remaining in the penalty to Semenov.
I'm sure that Leif Borik right now had Bob Johnson's notes in his pocket, because Bob Johnson would pull a little note, show the power play it, and a little different formation would come off right away.
Face-off to take place outside of the Swedish blue line. They have 2-man advantage. Gustafsson took the face-off for Sweden. Mats Näslund failed to get anywhere with it. Then it's cleared right back down to Swedish territory. Starting out now, Bo Eriksson. Side called. And spinning around on that whistle, Sergei Makarov wasn't too happy with that.
The Soviets won't be short 1 man in 3 seconds. The Swedes have to get something going here. They've got to take a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive in the Soviet end, and because they just can't afford to go into the dressing room at the end of the second period down by 2.
4 minutes, 44 seconds remaining, second period. Bo Eriksson. Eriksson starting out now for Sweden. To Naslund. Naslund simply dumps it in over the Soviet line, where it's drilled off the boards. And the Soviets doing an excellent job killing off the penalty. One penalty is up now, and there's only 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Anatoly Semenov. Coming down in over the line, right in front, a shot that was wide as Mats Naslund was right in front. Another shot. Sweden now puts the pressure on. Penalties up now, teams back full strength. And Sweden failed to score while they had the two-man advantage. The puck is lobbed high over the glass into the crowd. USSR 2, Sweden no score. Canada Cup, 1984. Sweden 2-0. We're in the second period, the dying minutes of the second period. 3 minutes 58 seconds remaining. But again, Sweden failed to capitalize. Not a one-man advantage, a two-man advantage, Don.
Well, they sure don't want to break their team system down. They don't want those individual efforts to come out because they've got a good game plan. They just got to stick by it.
Zubkov back behind his own goal. Failed to get it out. Here's it. Right over the glove side.
Peter Sundstrom in the right spot at the right time. Gets a slapper by Mышkin. He's a little surprised. The puck made a little bit of a funny bounce off the boards. Quick pass. Peter Sundstrom right in the right spot at the right time.
Peter Sundstrom was right in the opening. Look at this move he makes.
Well, just turns and fires. That's a good play, Ron. Goaltender's a little surprised. Doesn't expect the shot that quick. And Mышkin, you know, he was out. He was on the angle. Got a good piece of it. And you can't blame Mышkin at all. That's the first goal in the tournament by him. He's played awfully well.
Well, they're right back in the thick of it now. They're only down by one goal. We've got 3:40 remaining, but Peter Sundstrom came right into the right spot. It's USSR 2, Sweden 1 here in the second period. And the crowd starts to come alive.
Steve Cork is certainly starting to utilize all his NHL experience. He's had Kent Nilson, Hawken Lou, Peter and Patrick Sundstrom on the ice, along with Mats Naslund and Thomas Gradin.
Goals scored by number 18, Peter Sundstrom.
This is Mats Naslund dumping it behind Vladimir Mышkin again. Soviets now regrouping. Here's a break. Coming down in over the line to Shepelov right in front. Oh, and a beautiful save by Lindmark on a breakaway by Sergei Shepelov.
That's what the Soviets are so famous for. They get down by one and they come right back at you again.
Soviets again, the pass up through the center area. Gimаев shot it down to the right of Peter Lindmark. Out in front of his own goal is Bo Eriksson. Pass up through the center ice area. No one was there. Carrying it in over the line. Here's Gimаев. And he was stopped. Now coming right back. This is Mats Naslund, but he was checked from behind. Right in front of the penalty timekeeper's bench, and this shoving breaks out.
Anders Håkansson right in the middle of it with the Los Angeles King. That is one consistent hockey player in terrific condition. Played all 80 games last year with LA.
2 minutes 44 seconds remaining. You can see just coming down in over the breakaway, and watch the move by Peter Lindmark. Don Edwards, you'd appreciate it.
Well, Shepelov just sort of fans on it, and goaltender, he's back the net, but he gets a pad down. That's what you call lady luck.
Well, he was covering the net.
Well, if you can't cover it all, at least cover the bottom part.
Near the center ice red line, face-off takes place. Back to the Soviet line with Kасatонov trying a pass, and an offside call against the Soviet Union.
The Swedes just haven't allowed the Russian defensemen to control the play. If the Soviet defensemen do control the play, it allows the wingers of the Soviet to just sort of circle in the neutral ice zone, and hopefully the defenseman gets a little out of position. The first thing you know, they're by him, and the Swedish defensemen have stood up, maintained their poise, and sort of frustrated the Soviets.
Trying to stick handle through. Yašin was stopped. Puck is along the boards and held for yet another face-off. And so, with 2:23 remaining, the USSR leads Sweden 2-1 in the second period. Sweden down by one goal. Dying minutes of the second period. In Swedish territory, the face-off about to take place. Puck is brought back to the blue line. A shot just went wide. Off the boards. Peter Sundstrom trying to get out with a pass over to Pat Sundstrom. It is to the left of Vladimir Mышkin. Back into the corner again. Kasitonov looks to pass. He does. Svetloff was stopped. There's a break. Oh, just offside. And a very frustrated Peter Sundstrom let one go wide.
Soviets seem a little frustrated, moving the puck, making some bad passes, and if the Swedes stick to their guns, they're going to get some opportunities, and hopefully they'll be able to tie it and maybe even take the lead. Leif Boork definitely must have talked to the Swedish team between periods.
Well, coming up in our second intermission, Jim Van Horn will be along to talk with Bruce Hood. We'll have Roger Nielsen with some highlights of this second period. That's our second intermission coming up a minute 49 seconds from now. Play underway. Here is a break coming in over the line. Coming back was Eriksson to tie Larionov up. And here's a penalty call. A holding call will go against Sweden as Sergei Makarov was pulled down behind goaltender Peter Lindmark.
Well, Tallinn just gets a little out of position here, gets a little too aggressive. He gets chased, and he should have waited in the front of the net. All of a sudden, he puts a little grab of, and Makarov goes down. That's not a very good play by Tallinn at all. An experienced defenseman has a lot of international experience, and the play was ineffective in behind the net. He should have just waited and let the play form and then made a move from there.
Mats Tallinn going to the penalty box. So again, in this hockey game, the Soviets will have the man advantage.
The Swedes got to keep their composure here. They can't allow the Soviets to get that puck moving around. They've got to keep things on the outside and make sure the Soviets don't get unwound and get circling, and make sure that Peter Lindmark gets a good sight of that puck.
Face off to the right of Peter Lindmark. Back to the blue line. Over to the point. In off the boards. Shot forward by Starikov and lobbed high and all the way back down to the Soviet zone. Kasitonov back for it. Passed it right onto the stick of Pat Sundstrom. Sundstrom couldn't get a good shot away. He was taken by surprise. Kasitonov trying to get out again. This time he tried to pass to Larionov. Coming down in over the line, Kasitonov dropped it for Larionov. It comes back to the blue line, to the point. Over to Kasitonov. Kasitonov now gets it in for Makarov with the puck. Trying to draw a check. Watch them move this puck around. Winding up a shot right on. Lindmark makes the save on Starikov.
With the veteran Fedosov being out for the Soviet Union, the Soviets are definitely missing that key man on that power play.
Soviet Union coming right back in over the line. Dropping it back. No one was there. Makarov thought someone was following him. And there's only 15 seconds remaining here in the second period. Puck is cleared back to Soviet territory yet again. This is Starikov. Puck shot back down to the Swedish zone. As the horn goes to end the second period.
Well, the Soviets have to go to the dressing room shaking their heads a little bit, and the Swedes, on the other hand, have to go in very happy. They got their game back together, they worked hard, they're sticking with the game plan, and they're still winning the corners, and the Soviets must be very, very surprised.
Well, Makarov scored in that second period to make it 2-0 for the USSR, and then Peter Sundstrom came on and put Sweden on the scoreboard. So now, after 2 periods of play-by-play, the USSR leads Sweden 2-1 on Canada Cup 1984.
The eyesight away from Mышkin, and I'm sure Leif Boork has made mention to him something before this start of this period.
Puck is back behind the blue line of the Soviets. Down the left side comes Zubkov. Offside.
Brown, the Soviets are famous for, in the third period, picking up the pace. They're in unbelievable condition. This team went to training camp May 25th when other teams were just finishing the Stanley Cup.
In the past 2 years, over 170,000 kids have been awarded SO Medals of Achievement. These minor hockey awards are just one of the many community programs that SO supports across Canada. Because to SO, it's a good, healthy way for youngsters to grow up and develop. And tonight, SO is also pleased to provide the Player of the Game Award.
Kasatonov letting that one go. Going back into the corner, back behind goaltender Peter Lindmark. Sweden now on the move. This is Eldebrink. Long pass. Coming over the line, Håkan Loob. Loob goes into the corner, and had the puck stolen at the blue line, right off the stick of Eldebrink. The Soviets offside.
The Swedish defense has definitely made Makarov, Krutov, and Larianov make it look very, very ordinary tonight.
Well, Krutov tried, but he was stopped as Soviets went offside. Their passing plays just not clicking like we've seen them before.
Well, certainly it doesn't look like the Soviets of old. I'm sure Technov, this is one of the things he's very, very concerned with.
Gustafsson on the ice for Sweden. Puck is back to Bo Eriksson. He lobs it high behind goaltender Mышkин along the board. Players bang heavily into the board. Sticks tend to go up a little high. Stельnov. Here's a pass out to center. Intercepted, though, by Bo Eriksson. Mats Нэslund dumped it back behind the Soviet goal. Coming out to center ice. Vardakov shot it into Swedish territory. And it is shot right back down into the Soviet zone. Bilялетdinov back behind his own goal. Out to center ice. Vardakov drills it back down behind Peter Lindmark. Bounces off the boards out to the center ice area. This is Peter Anderson trying to get out. Lobbed high back down to Soviet zone as Mышkин left it behind his own goal. Sweden only down by 1 goal. We're in the third period. Squeezed along the boards. Thomas Gradin took his man out, and it's held for a faceoff. With 17:54 remaining, the USSR 2, Sweden 1 on Canada Cup. 2-1, the USSR leading Sweden. We're in the third period. Face-off to the left of Vladimir Mышkин. Tommas Stин in for Sweden. Belvukin carries it up to center. A forward pass over the line to Yašin. He lost it. Squeezed along the board. This is Semenov. Swipe at it. Throwing it all the way back down. Way out of his line. Goal is Mышkин. And Don, you're the goaltender now. Was that the right move to make?
Certainly, a speedster like Kent Nilson. I know Kent had a very, very serious injury at the end of the year. He broke his ankle, but you just can't give the Swedes these opportunities, and it's a little surprising the Soviets are coughing up the puck like this. Mышkин makes a good play, comes on, and that kills it. But I'm just surprised the Soviets just aren't controlling the play as much as they can. They just seem a little timid tonight.
There's Kent Nilson, member of the Calgary Flames and a teammate of yours, Don Edwards.
Well, he certainly, when they call him the Magic Man, he certainly does things with the puck that no other human being can do.
Face off in Soviet territory. This is a drive, that hit a skate. As Eriksson let that one go, that was another close call right in front of the net. Back to center. That's Tilly. He left it for Gustafsson. Bangs off the boards out to center ice. Gustafsson tried a forward pass. That bounced off a skate over the line. A shot. Glove saved by Mышkin. And it's driven all the way back down behind goaltender Peter Lindmark. Shot up to center ice. And coming back for it is Kасatонov. Out to center. It bounces. At the line. Carrying it around behind. Peter Lindmark trying to stuff it in the short side. It comes back to the blue line. Kасatонov let one go. Kasatонov again, a shot. Lindmark to save. Last second and covers up on the play. Good save by Lindmark. The USSR 2, Sweden 1. Third period on Canada Cup 84.
I like Albert.
Yeah. Bo Eriksson off for holding. Tries to tie up the Soviet player in front of the net to give Peter Lindmark a little bit more time to control the puck, and referee's right there. He's off. Soviets back on the aggressive here, and hopefully try and get one.
Eriksson for holding at 3:39. We keep pointing out Sweden cannot afford to pick up these penalties. Although the Soviets have failed to capitalize on the power play. Face off to the right of Peter Lindmark. Off the boards, it comes back to the Soviet zone.
It seems like between Peter and Patrick Sundstrom and Kent Nilson and Hakhan Loob, they're never off the ice.
Back for it now is Makarov. Watch the Soviets start to circle now. They have the man advantage. Coming out is Larionov. Larionov in over the line. Drops it back. Coming in over the point. Starikov. A shot! Oh, just tipped wide. Whistle on the play as the puck came out over the line. 15:45 remaining in the hockey game. A minute 24 now remaining in the penalty.
Don't think that Swedish team is pumped up. That puck got over the blue line. The whole bench was yelling for off. It was offside. They must be pretty confident. They've never beaten the Soviets in international competition, so there might be a little change in the statistics here.
This is the 40th meeting between these two teams, as Ope Nilsson pointed out. And they haven't won in 39 of them, so there's a lot going for Team Sweden.
Trying to get Sweden to look at a positive aspect. They're all pretty positive.
Puck is back in Swedish territory. Control the way back inside the Soviet blue line. Soviets on the move. Left side for Makarov. Makarov lost it. Turning now, Kent Nilson. Nilson to the blue line, a drive. Oh, just off a leg, a bouncing puck, Mышkin down, and he covers up on the play.
Kent Nilson definitely a key to the Swedish team. They're definitely looking for a leader. Maybe Kent's that guy that's trying to do it. Got all the talent, lets a big shot go. The Soviet defenseman goes down and blocks it, and Mышkin's lucky to keep control of it. He's out on top and scrambling a bit. And if you take a look at Mышkin, he hasn't been real sharp. He's made the big saves, but he just hasn't had good, clean control of the puck all night.
Puck goes back to the right of goaltender Vladimir Mышkin. And here's a call, a hooking call is going to be handed out, and it's going to go to the Soviets.
Well, leaves up the two sides. Swedes got a little lucky there. Peter Sundstrom goes down, and Bilялетдинов goes off. In 42 seconds, the Swedes will get the man advantage, and I think if I was Tikhonov, I'd be a little concerned because the Swedes seem to be picking up a little bit of momentum.
Face-off will take place in Soviet territory. 42 seconds remaining in the Eriksson penalty.
Soviet penalty to number
Kent Nilson, Hakhan Loob out there. On Thomas Eriksson.
Nilson's seen a lot of ice time tonight.
For hooking at 4:57.
Puck is handed right onto the stick of Svetlov. Svetlov was checked from behind. Kent Nilson doing some fancy stick handling in front of his own goal. He handed it. Oh, they score! Kent Nilson was the goat on that. Sergei Svetloff scoring, taking a perfect pass. Unfortunately, the pass came from Kent Nilson.
Well, Kent Nilson tried to maybe manhandle the puck a little too much. Just gets a little check here, lose control of the puck. And the first thing you know, the puck is in behind Peter Lindmark. Kent trying to make a clean pass, goes off the heel of his stick. Svetlov's right there, by him. Peter Lindmark really having no chance, but he's sitting back in the net a little bit. Kent Nilson maybe just trying to do a little bit too much here. Should have taken the puck, moved it up the boards, decides to circle back and set it up again. Not a strong pass. And that's one thing you can't do with the Soviets. You can't make mistakes like that because they're definitely going to capitalize on them.
Svetlov scoring, 15:22 the time, and now it is 3-1. Soviets now on the move again. Первухин tried a long pass. That was intended for Semenov. Couldn't get to it. Crashes heavily into the boards. USSR leading 3-1. We're in the third period. 14:23 remaining in this hockey game.
I'm sure the Soviets will really start to tighten up defensively. They've got a 2-goal lead, and with the Swedes having a little bit of trouble around the Soviet net, the big concern is just to tighten up, not to make key defensive mistakes, and not to let the Swedes back in the hockey game.
Only 2 seconds now remaining the Bo Eriksson penalty for Sweden. There's a minute 20 remaining in the penalty to the Soviets. We're awaiting a face-off now that's going to take place in Soviet territory to the left.
Leaf Bork's got some interesting decisions. He's had some of his forwards play a lot of time tonight.
Getting set for the face-off. And players are waved out of the face-off circle.
Sometimes a good move by the defensive team just to get that strong center from in the offensive position out of there.
Now the puck is dropped. Centered out in front, a shot, that hit a leg. Gustafsson let a quick shot go. Eklund for Sweden, leaving it. Right side for Matt Thielen. And an offside call against Sweden. 59 seconds remaining in the Soviet penalty.
Somehow the Swedes have got to get some pressure on the Soviet net. They've got to get in the Soviet zone, get control of that puck, move it around, get some good clean shots, and hopefully if they can't score on a direct shot, maybe a rebound or a deflection.
Gustafsson stays on the ice for Sweden, facing off against Vladimir Kovin. Ball goes back, carried over the line, shot in by Eldebrink, kept in along the boards by Eklund. Now it is cleared down the ice by the Soviets. 44 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden has the man advantage. Puck is dumped into Soviet territory by Eldebrink. Coming back in along the boards. It comes back to the point. Eriksson, a shot, stick save by Mышkin. Back behind the goal again. Trying to draw a check, comes back again. Here is a drive. He scores! Bo Eriksson on a power play.
Bo Eriksson gets the puck on the point. That's a good shot goal. Screen. Mышkin doesn't see a thing. It's by him. Swedes are right there again. They're still fighting. Little delay in the corner. Back to Bo Eriksson. A lot of traffic in front of the net. That's why Mышkin can't see the puck. High over his shoulder. Top corner. In.
That narrows it once again, 3-2. The USSR in front by 1. Look at the drive by Eriksson.
Well, this is with the view from a goaltender's point of view, in behind, and you can see why Mышkin couldn't see the puck.
Bo Eriksson scoring on a power play.
Goal scored by number 7, Bo Eriksson. Assisted by number 16, Henry Gustafsson, and the number 26, Mэтс Нэslund.
Eriksson scoring. 13 minutes remaining in the hockey game. USSR in front by 1 goal. Bouncing puck off the board. Kept in along the boards by Peter Sundstrom. Looking to center it. Poking at it. Bilялетдинов. Loose puck slides back behind Mышкin. Now the Soviets on the move. Out to center ice. Trying to get in over the line. Puck is in front of the penalty box. Loose puck drilled in over the Swedish blue line again. Lindmark leads it back behind his own goal. It's drilled off the boards. Thomas Gradin. A forward pass to Hakhan Loob. He was checked from behind. Mышkин decides to cover up on the play. And it's held for a face-off in the Soviet zone. 3-2, the USSR leads Sweden. We're in the third period on Canada Cup. 2, 12 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Face-off in Soviet territory to the right.
The power play goal by the Swedes definitely has to give them a big boost.
The draw. Starikov bangs it off the boards. Kent Nilson takes it back behind his own goal. Nilson, a pass up through the center to Hakhan Loob. Tomas Stin failed to get anywhere with it. Hakhan Loob takes it off the board. Mышkin grabs it. He's way out of his goal. He decides to hang on to force a face-off. He's starting to wander, Don.
Well, that's a good play by Mышkin. His player's a little disorganized. Let's just stop the play, get things back in control, and let's stop, get a face-off, and let the Swedish players, sort of lose their momentum. And if Mышkin keeps doing that and keeps, frustrating the Swedish players in some aspect like that, it sometimes disturbs you, throws you off, throws a little concentration off.
Another face-off in the Soviet zone. Coming in to take the draw, Gustafsson for Sweden. We'll do it over again. Draw goes back to the corner. Soviets on the move. Stельnov having some difficulty, so he lost it. Now he gives it to Starikov. Not back down, and icing will be called against the Soviet Union. It was Krutov who went back, tried to race for it. There's 11:26 remaining in the third period. Sweden is down by 1 goal.
So many of these Soviet players, Ron, are so well-rounded. They're good defense, they're good offensively, especially a player like Krutov. He, with the Red Army team last year, they were a little disappointed with his defensive skills, so for a month or two, they just put him back there and let him play defense, and sure a good way to teach someone.
Here is a shot, it's wide, right from the blue line by Mats Thelin. In Soviet territory, along the boards. Players come in, and it's held for a face-off.
Swedes are still in the corner fighting. If they're going to win this hockey game, that's where they've got to win the battles.
The next Calgary games in the Canada Cup Series.
Hakhan Loob back on the ice. He's seen lots of ice time tonight, Donnie.
Well, he certainly has. Bob Johnson with Calgary Flames utilized Hakhan in a lot of ways last year, and I'm sure Leif Bourque sat down with Bob Johnson, tried to understand all the good aspects of Hakhan Loob, and tried to put him to the best benefit he could.
Back to the blue line. Backhanded in by Bo Eriksson. Behind the Soviet goal. Up comes back to the blue line again. There was a quick shot. That went wide. Over to Sergei Yašin up forward. Here's a shot. Oh, good save by Lindmark and a great drive by Semenov. Bounces out to center. Loose puck. It's taken away by Eriksson. Fires it back to the Soviet zone where it's taken away by Kasatonov. That shot was deflected wide. Sweden keeps it in, off the boards, back behind the Soviet goal. Bouncing around to the right side to Yašin. Soviets having some difficulty getting the puck out of their own zone. Kасatонov tries a pass up to the center ice area. In at the line, and a whistle on the play as Svetlov was stopped. And so, with 10:10 remaining, the USR 3, Sweden 2. Sweden is down by 1 goal, and Don, this is certainly a different hockey game than we saw the opening game of Canada Cup, where they, being Sweden, lost 7-1 to the USA.
Well, the individual skills on the Swedish team have certainly been generated into a whole team effort.
Struggling along the boards, breaking it over the line. Here's a quick shot and a good glove save by Peter Lindmark on Skvortsov. A break. Down and over the line. Peter Sundstrom, and he was tied up from behind. Racing into trying to get it was Keldin. Sundstrom couldn't get a stick on it. Up in the Soviet zone. Puck was stolen. Coming back for it was Pat Sundstrom. Sundstrom goes all the way back behind his own blue line, lost it. Loose puck back at center. Первухин. Rink wide pass over on the right side, carrying it down, in over the line. Skvortsov, he was checked from behind. Puck goes back behind Lindmark. And it is dropped back to the Soviet blue line again. Taking it is Первухин. Lost it there, coming in over the line. A shot right on. Mышkin made a good save. Point blank drive by Thomas Stin.
The aggressive forechecking on the part of Hakhan Loob and Thomas Gradin opened up a chance. Hakhan Loob is good work on the boards. Gradin gets a chance, moves in. Mышkin's out on top of the angle, controls the rebound, drops to his knees, plays dead. But you got to give the Swedes a lot of credit. They're still hitting, they're still aggressive in the corners, they're taking the play to the Soviets, and the big reason is because they're aggressive forechecking, they're winning the corner battles.
8 minutes, 57 seconds remaining. 3-2, the USSR leading Sweden in Canada Cup, and the face-off will go to the left of Vladimir Mышkin. Tomás Stιν takes the face-off for Sweden. Igor Stельnov, he was checked. Recovering is Shepelov. Up in over the line. Going into the corner. Clearing the puck back. It is kept in, though, by Starikov. Back behind his own goal. Elderbrink. Head to turn. He's being chased. The puck goes loose. Loose puck at center ice. Running over the line. Here's a 2-on-1. Coming down. Pass right in front. Oh, standing on it was Thomas Eriksson. Another scramble in front. Swedish players all over the place, but being blocked by the Soviets. Good scoring opportunity. Tomás Stin let one go, and that was drilled down the ice by the Soviets, taking the heat off the Soviet team. As Sweden really putting the pressure on with 7:58 remaining to play.
Well, the play of Hakhan Loob, Kent Nilson, Tomás Stin, they're aggressive, and here comes Thomas Eriksson in there for a great scoring opportunity. Comes across, just fails to get a stick on it. I think Mышkin just got a little piece of it on the pass from Hakhan Loob. It's a good play on the part of Mышkin. He took the pass away probably, and Thomas Eriksson was right there. Bobby Clark is very high on him. He's a product of the Philadelphia Flyers, and he was really happy with his play last year.
Loose puck in Soviet territory. Trying to keep it in is Bo Eriksson. Bounces out to center, where it is recovered by the Soviets. Zubkov carries it up in over the line. A backhand knocked down by Peter Lindmark. Off the board, right wing. Racing for it and dropping it back. It came back to Kасatонov. At center ice, now in over the line. Here's Gustafsson. He was checked. Back out to center ice again. Mats Thelin was caught offside. Gordy Brossiger, the linesman, standing right in position.
I'm sure Ben Gustafsson will have nightmares about that. The puck breakaway, if he get control of it, the puck seemed to hop over his stick. sometimes you don't get those opportunities back again.
7:18 remaining in the third period of this game in Canada Cup.
A big concern to Tikhonov. The Soviet system is broke down. They've panicked. They're sprawling in front of Mышkin trying to block shots, and that's something you don't usually see out of the Soviets.
Puck comes off the boards. Cleared out to center. Trying to get around his man was Semenov, but he was stopped. Tarbukin tried a forward pass. Along the boards in front of the Swedish bench. It comes all the way back down to the right of Peter Lindmark. Right out in front. Quick shot by Svetloff, and Peter Lindmark was right on top of the play. Sweden on the move at the blue line, carried it in over the line. Peter Anderson banged it off the glass. All the way to the right of Mышkin. Sweden trying to keep it in. Here's a pass for Semenov. Semenov coming down in over the line with Yašin. Yašin simply drilled it off the boards behind Lindmark. Here's a quick shot. That was tipped wide at the last second. Bouncing back to the right of Lindmark. It comes back behind the goal. At Sundstrom. Tried a pass. That was knocked down. Yašin a shot. That went wide. Svetloff fights for it in the corner. Svetloff fell to the ice. Carrying it down over the line. Hoken Lube. Lube off the glass. Drills it into the Soviet zone. Bilyaletdinov couldn't get anywhere now. A pass out to Vardakov. Vardakov a shot. That was high and wide. Off the board for Skvortsov. To the left of Lindmark, they fight for it along the boards. Puck does go loose as it's taken away by Vardakov. Vardakov for Kovin. Kovin fights for it in the corner. Coming in to poke at it is Skvortsov. Back behind Lindmark. Soviets applying the pressure now. Back in the corner for Vardakov. Vardakov out in front. No one was there. Sweden still hemmed up in their own zone. Mats to lead. A pass to center. This is Kent Nilson, and Nilson couldn't handle it. Turning is Skvortsov. Skvortsov caught from behind, and there was an offside. With 4:54 remaining here in the third period, USSR 3, Sweden 2 on Canada Cup 84. This face-off will go outside of the Swedish blue line. Time running out on Sweden. Mikael Televin, a pass on the right side, intercepted. Krutov passed it, and now racing in over the Swedish line. He was knocked to the ice. Fighting for it along the boards. It comes back to Kasatonov. A shot wide. Passed out to the center ice area, and it is knocked down right in front of the Soviet bench. Zubkov drills it back in over the Swedish blue line. Touching it, and an icing call with 4:20 remaining.
The concern to Leif Bourque right now is maintaining the composure of his team. Sometimes when time starts to run down, the players start to lose a little bit of the concentration and start going to a little bit of individualism. And I know that he's got to be thinking also about starting to pull Peter Lindmark. He might not get that many good opportunities again.
Shots on goal have been fairly even. Sweden has outshot the USSR 21-17 in this game. This face-off is going to take place in the Soviet zone to the left of Vladimir Mышkin. Pat Sundstrom will take this face-off. His brother on one side, Peter Sundstrom.
Crowd in Calgary here really behind the Swedish team.
Well, we're getting set for the face-off. Here's a quick shot right from the face-off. It was juggled as Sundstrom let a quick shot go. Peter Sundstrom right from the face-off.
Sometimes the simplest shots go in, Ron.
Well, then do it again. Same face-off circle. From the draw, back to the corner. Left-hand side, this is Krutov. Krutov, a pass to Kasatonov. Kasatonov goes into the corner. Tried to center it. It goes back behind Peter Lindmark. Long pass out to center. That was knocked down by Larionov. Larionov for Krutov. Right in front. Lindmark down. Grab it.
Peter Lindmark, good concentration.
3:47 remaining. USSR 3, Sweden 2. We're awaiting a face-off in the Swedish zone. Moving in is Pat Sundstrom. Kent Nilson takes the puck behind his own goal. 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Sweden down by 1. Kent Nilson lost the puck. It is back to the Swedish zone again as Semenov goes back behind Lindmark. Puck is loose in Swedish territory. Svetlov struggling along the boards. A pass on the right side. It was too far for Haakan Loo. Coming out now is Thomas Eriksson. Pat Sundstrom. Back behind Vladimir Mышkin. Right out in front, and standing on it was Kent Nilson, and the puck slides back down to the Swedish zone. Here, racing in for it is Svetlov. Svetlov centered it out in front, and Semenov couldn't get a stick on it. Off the boards. It comes back down to the Soviet zone. 2 minutes, 38 seconds remaining.
Ron, a lot of tired legs out there right now. Some of these players are seeing a lot of ice time tonight. Just a little over 2 minutes to go. I'm sure that Lee Bork's still counting a lot on them as he burnt them out.
All the way back to the Swedish zone for the face-off. 2 minutes, 35 seconds remaining.
A concern right now, when do you call on Peter Lindmark to come out of the net?
Players out of positions. They're awaiting the whistle. Puck is dropped off the boards. Skvortsov, a shot, a scramble, and that's knocked to the left of Lindmark. Trying to clear it out. Soviets applying the pressure along the boards. Backboard is Mats Naslund. Naslund lobbed it high, and it slides back inside the Soviet blue line. Shot down to the Swedish zone. Peter Lindmark out of his goal. Flips it off the boards.
2 minutes.
Going in for it is Skvortsov. Drilled it back behind Lindmark. Keeping it in now is Stельнов. Stельnov shot hit a leg. It comes back again to Skvortsov. Skvortsov a shot. That was blocked and lobbed high. It slides back down to the Soviet zone. Mышkin leaving it. A minute, 40 seconds remain in the hockey game. A bouncing puck. Back for it is Zubkov. Starikov up to center. Passed it over on the right side for Krutov. Along the boards right in front, a backhand and a save by Lindmark. Puck is loose. Zubkov in the corner. Had the puck stolen. There's a minute 12 remaining. Here's a long shot. Mышkin makes the save on a drive by Haakan Loo. Pass out to center. Makarov carries it in over the line. Makarov a backhand. That went wide. A shot knocked down. Fighting for it in front. Larionov couldn't get a shot away. Puck bounces back to center. Krutov. Krutov leaving it for Makarov. Makarov in over the line. A shot. Glove save by Lindmark. Way out of his goal. And he passes over on the right side. He's way out to the blue line. He goes to the bench. Sweden will put on the extra attacker with 28 seconds remaining. At the Soviet line. In over the line comes Pat Sundstrom. Sundstrom trying to center out in front. He does. And it just went wide. 16 seconds remaining. Sundstrom again, a shot. That hit a leg. Back to the point. Knocked down as Eldebrink let it go. Here's a shot. Just went wide of the empty net. Anders Eldebrink back. There's 2 seconds. 1. The horn goes. This hockey game is over.
Ron, the Swedes just weren't able to get a face-off. Someone from the bench should have definitely been yelling face-off, face-off, face-off. As soon as they got it in the Soviet end, kill the play. Let's get set up again. Hopefully get a good opportunity.
Shots on goal in the third period.
The Swedes, they've got to be proud of each other. They've worked very, very hard tonight. A lot of those players, Kent Nilson, Hakan Loob, Peter and Patrick Sundstrom, seen a lot of ice time.
Here was the action as Sweden had the extra man as they pulled the goaltender.
Peter Sundstrom throws it in, little backhand, just misses the corner. Mышkin's down on the ice. Everything. The Swedes put everything they had into the game. Just a great effort. They were still trying. 2-3 seconds to go in the game. They were still diving, trying to get that puck in the net.
Well, I've watched Sweden play since Canada Cup started in 1976 and saw the games. This had to be their best effort, even though it was a losing one. The USSR 3, Sweden 2. Final score on Canada Cup 84.